Hello dear CMA aspirants from South India. As you all already know, Akash Agarwal Classes has launched for you all 100% English lectures in English for CMA Foundation students giving their examination in December 2025 and onwards. So here I am going to tell you how do you enroll in the batch. You just have to join our WhatsApp community which is given in the link. Fill up the Google form again given in the link and to download our mobile application Akash Agarwal Classes to access the notes. You all know the lectures which we are going to conduct will be 100% covered. There would be no subject which we are not taking care of. So we are going to take care of each and every subject, each and every concept. We are going to take MCQs for you. We are going to provide test papers. We are going to take live mentee sessions as well. Lectures which we are going to take for you all are 100% recorded lectures and not dubbed lectures. And you all know we have exclusive team ready for you all to teach you for your CMA Foundation December 2025 attempt for subject wise as well. And we are uploading the lectures on a weekly basis. All the important links which will be useful to you all are uploaded in the description box. Since we have many students who have cleared CMA examination at all the levels from Akash Agarwal Classes, and to reciprocate the love which we have received from South Indian students, we are here for you all taking lectures 100% in English, so that we can clear your CMA Foundation December 25 attempt together. So keep studying, do watch all the lectures till the end, and do show some love by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and putting up a word in the comment box. Keep studying. Bye-bye.
So hello my dear CMA aspirants. First of all, welcome to Akash Agarwal Classes YouTube channel. We are back with something very big. As you all know, Akash Agarwal Classes is the #1 coaching institute for all the CMA fraternity CMA students. But in this series, we are going to bring lectures. The lectures are going to be in total 100% English format. Yes, the lectures are going to be in 100% English. These lectures are not going to be dubbed in English. They are totally recorded in English. So, if you are new to the channel, do subscribe our channel. Do share this video with all your friends, because Akash Agarwal Classes is bringing you whole syllabus, all the subjects of CMA Foundation in English. And I, Professor Chaitanya Bhujbal, is going to teach you, is going to bring you the lectures of mathematics and stats. So first, let me give you a brief introduction about the chapter itself. So your chapter mathematics is divided into two. The first part is going to be business mathematics and the second part is going to be business statistics. So this business mathematics is going to be of 40 marks and stats is going to be of 60 marks. That means your mathematics subject is going to be for 100 marks. These 100 marks are divided into 40 marks of mathematics, that is algebra, arithmetic and calculus, and other 60 marks part is going to be your stats. So we are going to see what are the chapters, what not. In everything we are going to study it in details. But for now, you have to just understand that the 40 marks are of algebra, maths, that is mathematics, and the 60 marks are for your statistics. So 100 marks is going to be your paper, right? So 100 marks is going to be your paper number 3, Fundamental of Business Mathematics and Stats. So bachcha, you have to understand, students, you have to understand, these 100 marks are asked in form of 50 MCQs. These 100 marks are asked in form of 50 MCQs. That means one MCQ is going to be of 2 marks. There is going to be no negative marking. So even if you fail to, or even if you mark a particular question and that question is wrong, your answer is wrong, you won't be getting any kind of negative marking. So 50 MCQs, 2 marks each, is going to give you 100 marks. These 100 marks are divided into 2, 40 marks of mathematics, 60 marks of statistics. So you have to, there's no need to worry because Akash Agarwal classes is going to give you 100%. Yes, I am assuring you that I am going to provide you with the 100% syllabus of mathematics. Each and every chapter of maths as well as stats will be provided to you all, and which is again going to be recorded in English and not dubbed in English. So now let's see what are all the chapters. So for the first chapter over here is going to be ratio, proportion and variation, time value of money, which is your simple interest, compound interest and annuity. The third chapter is arithmetic progression and geometric progression, which is AP and GP. The fourth chapter is time and distance. Then there is a sets chapter, sets, theory, Venn diagram. This is the one chapter. So the chapter's name is sets. And the next chapter is going to be indices and logarithm, permutation and combination, which you also say to be PNC, quadratic equation, and then calculus part, revenue, cost function, your integration and differentiation part, the calculus part. So over here, if you see, there are these many chapters in maths. Okay, these all chapters are part of your maths. Whether it be ratio, proportion, variation, simple compound, arithmetic, time series, time and distance, sets, indices, logarithm, permutation, quadratic equation, calculation. These all are all the parts of mathematics, and these are for 40 marks. These chapters are asked for how many marks? 40 marks. Then later on, this is your part A. Then in part B, we see the chapters to be statistical representation of data. This is the first chapter. This is your totally theory based chapter. The chapter is going to be only and solely theory based chapter. Okay. So there are very rare chances, very minimal chances that any kind of solving question, any kind of subject, any kind of numerical question is going to be asked from a statistical description of data. Just one question is asked. The question is of pi diagram, the calculation of angles. That's only the one question possibility of asking a question. And then the chapter 2 that we are going to study in stats is central tendency and dispersion. We say to be CT and dispersion. And then the next chapter is correlation, regression, probability, time series and index number. So if you see over here, we get 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 chapters in here. So in stats, we get 5 chapters. These 5 chapters are for 60 marks. Now you are well intelligent enough, you are you have the knowledge and you are much understandable that you can understand that which part gives you more marks. Statistics gives you more marks. Which chapter or which part has the most weightage? Statistics is the part which has the most weightage and less number of chapters as well. If you see over here, there are only 5 chapters we have to study for 60 marks. And if you see over here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So approximately 12 to 13 chapters over here for how many marks? 40 marks. So you can decide for now which part is the most important part and the most marks scoring part. So yes, it is what? It is stats. So that's the reason we are going to provide Akash Agarwal classes, and I am going to provide you with the lectures for statistics first. So yes, we are going to launch this lectures. We are going to provide you with the maths part by first giving you lectures of statistics. So yes, I am recording the lectures. I'll be providing with all the chapters in stats as well as maths. It's not a need to worry that, sir, are you going to provide whole syllabus or only particular chapters or what, only stats, no maths? No. We are going to provide you each and every chapter. All chapters are going to be provided to you. So there is no need to worry. I am going to provide you with every chapter and everything. So only thing that you have to keep in mind is don't miss the lectures. To get all the updates about the lectures and all about the strategies, you can do 2 things. First of all, subscribe to the channel so you get the latest lectures. And second of all, join our WhatsApp community. The link is given in the description. So first we are going to start with the chapter of statistical representation of data. Theory chapter is going to be provided. Before jumping to the chapter, let me make you something clear. I am going to cover all the concepts. I'm going to cover all the concepts. With the concepts, I'm going to cover their examples as well. I'll be the way of teaching is going to be, first I'll explain the concept and the examples related to the concept are going to be taken cover. And after all concept or examples is given, we'll be also doing MCQ solving. We are also be going to providing you with the tests. So test series is also be going to be given. So how to get that test series, how to basically get those tests, what is going to be the procedure for that. As I said, join the WhatsApp community. It is given in the description. The link is given in the description. One thing when you are watching my lectures, one thing that you have to keep in mind is you have to make 2 books. Okay, one book is going to be for all the main concept. We can say it to be a classwork book. Rather, I would say 3 books. One book is going to be your classwork book. All the concept, all the examples, all the MCQ solving that I do in the lecture is to be solved in the classwork. The second book that you are going to make is the homework book. I would suggest to make this book. This is going to help you a lot. The homework book will be all the examples or all the concept MCQs that I have solved in the lecture. Now, those questions are solved by me. Those examples are solved by me. You are just watching the lecture. And by just watching the lecture or by listening what your teacher is saying, it is not going to give you benefit in your exam. What is going to give benefit? When you solve it by yourself. That's the reason this homework book is very important, because all MCQs and all questions that I am solving is going to be solved by you without watching the lectures in the homework book. So this is going to be a kind of practice book for you. And the last and the most important book of all is going to be a concept book. So this concept book is the most important book that you have to make as and when, eventually and simultaneously when I am giving you lectures or when you are watching these lectures. Because in all these, in this book, you have to write all the concepts, you have to write all the notes that I give, you have to write all the formulas I give, all the important points I give, all the calculator trick as I give. And here comes a new point. You have to keep aside all kind of worries, because in this lecture I am also going to teach you or show you how to use the calculator. So call the calculator tricks, how to make calculation easy, what tricks to use, how to use the calculator is also going to be explained in these lectures. So you have to just create these 3 books, follow the lectures. The lectures are going to be uploaded eventually daily 2 days a week. Shruti ma'am has already explained you everything. So this is what is the main necessity that you need to keep in mind. So now, without any further ado, let's start with our first chapter, statistical description of data. So hello my dear students. First of all, welcome to Akash Agarwal Classes YouTube channel. Students, Akash Agarwal Classes has started a series for the students who want the lectures to be conducted in English. Yes, Akash Agarwal Classes is going to provide you to all the lectures in 100% English form. So to get all the lectures or further detail about all the lectures to be conducted in English, you can join the WhatsApp group. The link of the WhatsApp group is going to be available in the description. So I would suggest you to join the WhatsApp group so that you can get the all the notifications, all the new videos that we are going to upload and everything whatnot. So first of all, let me tell about that in mathematics, we'll be going to start with the statistics part. First, we are going to start with the statistics, and first chapter, that is statistical description of data, is going to be covered from today. So the chapter is totally theory based chapter, and let me tell you, the chapter is important. Many of the students tend to avoid this chapter. Many of the students don't focus on these chapters. So I would recommend not to do so. The chapter is important, as the chapter is asked for 4 to 8 marks. 4 to 8 marks means 2 to 4 questions are going to be asked from these chapters. So I would suggest you not to miss these chapters, because this chapter is very, very important. And mostly overly, this chapter is totally theory based. So there are no formulas to be learned. There are no calculation sort of. There's only theory, purely theory chapter. You don't have to miss the chapter. Yeah, it might be a bit boring chapter, but yes, it is going to give you 4 to 8 marks, that the marks are going to be free. So I would suggest not to miss this chapter. So before jumping into the chapter, let me tell about that what are we going to study. The chapter's name is Statistical Description of Data, and we are going to study all about data. What is data? Where is data? Where the data is used? Data is used in every form, in everything that we do. That means we are using data in our day-to-day life. We are using data to run an organization. We are using data before your studies as well. Sir, could you give an example? So let me tell you, before starting your studies or before enrolling into any of your course, I guess before enrolling into this course, the CMA foundation course, I guess you might have seen the subjects. You might have gone through the index of your subject, that is mathematics. You might have seen there are 2 parts. One is going to be maths, and other is going to be statistics. What have you done? You have basically looked into the subject. You have seen its index. You have seen that what are the chapters and what is the content that we are going to study. So you have first seen the data. You have acquired the data, and then you have analyzed. Am I capable enough? Are the subject or are the chapters? Am I going to be able to study these chapters? So you have seen the data, and then you have made the decision. Same goes with any kind of business. The data is acquired. The data might be the product that I am selling. Is there the demand for this product? Data might be the locality in which I am running my business. Does my locality have the paying capacity? And according to the paying capacity, then I am going to set up the prices of my product. So what am I doing as a business organization or a business owner or as an analyst? I am studying my organizational geographical region. What is this? This is data. I am gathering a data, and according to that data, I am going to take further decisions. So the data is very, very, very important in every aspect of your life. It might be your day-to-day work, or it might be an organization running, or it might be a country running. So we are going to see further that the data is used in many forms, and there are many ways of gathering this data and analyzing this data. So in this chapter, we are going to study all about data. So let's get into the chapter. First, we are going to see that statistics is derived from the Latin word which is supposed to be status, Italian word statista, German word statistic, French word statisticu. So these are the words that you are supposed to be learned. These are the Latin, Italian, French and German words that you are supposed to be learning, because they can be asked in your MCQs. So the Latin word is status again, Italian is statista again, German is statistic, French is statisticu. So you have to learn these words. Let's go into the next table. We are going to study about the 2 books. There's 2 books. One of them is Arthashastra. It was written by the author Kautilya. The author of Arthashastra was who? Kautilya. And it was written in the regime. Regime means a period. In which period was this Arthashastra book written? It was written by an author, Kautilya, in the regime of Chandragupta Maurya. It was 4th century when the Arthashastra book was written. And what was in this Arthashastra book? It was study for death and birth rates. Death and birth rates was written in Arthashastra. The other book which you are going to study is Ain-i-Akbari. I might pronounce it wrong. So yeah, the pronunciation might be wrong, but into my knowledge, it is Ain-i-Akbari. Author was Abu Fazl, and it was written in the regime of Akbar. The duration was 16th century AD, and the records were for agriculture. All sort of records of agriculture were mentioned in the book, or were recorded in the book, which was Ain-i-Akbari. So two books, one is Arthashastra, the other one is Ain-i-Akbari. The author of Arthashastra was Kautilya, the regime was Chandragupta Maurya, and this duration was 4th century. What were the records? The death and the birth records. The other book was Ain-i-Akbari, was written by Abu Fazl, and the regime was Akbar's regime. Duration was 16th century, and the records were for agriculture. So these were the two books that we have to keep in mind. And the very important point: when was the first census conducted? Census is nothing but a data which is to be recorded, a mixed data, a overall presentation of any kind of data. The first census was conducted by whom? Was conducted by a pharaoh, and in which duration? 300 BC to 2000 BC. So you have to keep this in mind as well. So let's jump into the definition of statistics. So let me first tell you that statistics can be in two terms. Like statistics can be used in singular sense as well as plural sense. There are very high chances that there is going to be a question asked: is statistics singular? Is statistics plural? Or the third option might be it is both singular and plural. You have to keep in mind statistics is not singular or not plural, but it is both singular and plural. But when we are talking about the singular sense of statistics, we are talking about collecting, analyzing, presenting the data. When you are talking about what? Singular sense of data, we are talking about collecting, analyzing, and presenting the data. But when we are talking about the plural sense, we are talking that the data might be what? Qualitative as well as quantitative. We are going to discuss it further ahead in very detail, like what is qualitative data and what is quantitative data. But to give a brief about qualitative data is like how the qualitative data means it can be said that like what is the surety of your data, how genuine the data is. It is going to be qualitative, and the quantitative is how much data. When it is going to be counted, the data can be like how big is the data, quantity, it can be measured. We are talking about quantitative data, which are collected with the view of having statistical analysis as the numerical data relating terms, national income, crimes, literacy, production, and etc. So plural sense of data has an examples which are again national economy, which can be measured, crime rates measured, literacy measured, population measures. Therefore, plural sense of data is a data which is qualitative or a quantitative data. Singular sense of data is what? Collecting of data, presenting of data, and leading final drawings. So we'll collect the data and then we'll reach up to a decision, or we'll reach up to a basically a view what is supposed to be done and what not. So what are the important characteristics? The examples are mean, dispersion, correlation, and index number for singular sense of data. So you have to keep the example as well in your mind. Let's go ahead and see division of data. So in this table, you are only required to see what are the divisions. The data has total 6 kind of divisions. Okay, the statistics is divided into what? 6 part. The 6 part you have to only keep 6 parts in the mind. There's no sense in learning the meaning or techniques used. You can just keep the divisions in mind, and you can read the meaning and all, so that you have a brief idea. So the first type of data is descriptive statistics. Another one is applied statistics. The third is going to be inferential statistics. The fourth is inductive statistics. Fifth is going to be your mathematical statistics. And last is your analytical statistics. So there are many examples given as well, like descriptive statistics. What techniques are used in descriptive statistics? So the techniques are average, dispersion, skewness, time series. The techniques in applied statistics are quality control, index number, sample space, etc. For the inferential statistics, the technique is normal distribution and t-test. Inductive statistics is forecasting statistics. Mathematical statistics is integration, differentiation, trigonometry, and matrix. The last one, analytical statistics, is correlation, regression, associations, and attributes. So many of the techniques are nothing but our chapters. Like, let me tell you, we are in further statistics, we are going to study average dispersion. We are going to study skewness. We are going to study index number. We are going to study so normal distribution is not a part. And we are going to study integration, differentiation, trigonometry. We have already studied in 10th standard. We are going to study matrices, already also been studied by you in 10th standard or 11th, 12th if you had maths. So these are all the chapters. The correlation, regression one is also going to be studied. So these are what? These are techniques, and these techniques are nothing but are for the chapters. Like after statistical description of data, there's a chapter known as central tendency and dispersion. Later on, we are going to study what? Later we are going to study correlation and regression. So you can see the correlation and regression in what? It is in analytical statistics. So these are all the chapters that we are going to study further. Let's go ahead and see where is this statistics applied. Where is the application of statistics? As I told you previously, the statistics is used everywhere. Anything you can assume, we use statistics. Statistics nothing but data. You have to gather a data, analyze the data, and take decisions accordingly. So in the state, what do you mean by in the state? State means state, like Maharashtra state, Gujarat state, Tamil Nadu state. That is what basically we are going to study about the states. We are going to study where the state studies the data. The states studies the data and accordingly take the decision. Like, what data does the state study? It studies about the the literacy rate, population. It studies about the crime rate. It studies about the wealth. It studies about the financial position of the people. So there are many examples or many things that the state that the state has to study and go through. There are many examples given over here. Statistics provides statistical information to the state. It gives information to whom? The state. The leaders of the state, the ones who are running the state, they give you a brief information like what is going in your state and what not. Frame suitable policies and guidelines to maintain law and order and to improve the system of the working. So once you have the data, once the authorities or the decision makers have the data for the state, they can work accordingly or they can make policies accordingly. For example, there are many examples like birth and death rate in the state, defense in the state, price level wholesale and retail, income, wealth, crime, health, population, production industries, agriculture, mineral and other resources, unemployment, money supply, interest rate, education, import and export. All the states have different data. Every state has different data for its own defense. Like you might know, there is different defense system. Like for Maharashtra, there is going to be Maharashtra police. For Gujarat, there is going to be Gujarat police. For Karnataka, there is going to be their own defense, their own police. So, they have to acquire all the data. They have to collect all the data to work accordingly, to make policies accordingly, to allot money, to allot the basically funds for the whole year for that particular part. They have to study about what is the technology being used in the hospitals. So there's a lot of data which has to be acquired, and accordingly, what are going to be made? Accordingly, policies and law and order is going to be made. So these are many examples. 2 to 3 examples can be kept in mind. Further, this data is used in where? The data is used in economy. Again, it is very, 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 you can say very normal thing. It is nothing big that in economy, the data is supposed to be acquired and studied. Statistics helps to answer the 3 bases of questions in the economy: what to produce, how to produce, and whom to produce. So first of all, I'll have to understand what is the requirement of the society. what is society expecting from me? What are their choices? So that's the reason when I study my surrounding, I study the environment, like what is the requirement of the people, and then only I'm going to understand like what do I want to produce. So I see Akash Agarwal classes sees that there is a requirement. There's a requirement of lectures for CMA Foundation which are to be conducted in English. So there's a requirement of all the students who are watching these lectures. So we have seen that there are requirement. We studied, we gathered the data, and then we come up to a decision that Akash Agarwal classes is going to launch its what? English batch, 100% English batch, which is going to be free of cost and which is going to be available on the YouTube for free. So, and how to produce is going to be the option. How to produce is going to be the questions. What are the available resources? Am I in the locality that I can produce? So how to produce is going to be the another option, which is again gives you the solution by what? By the data that we can gather. Again, after on, we can see for whom to produce. So these are the three important questions in economics. Specifically, statistics helps to test the economy theory in the area of consumption, production, exchange, distribution, saving, and investment, etc. To understand the study economic problems such as problems of inflation, cost of living index, etc. To frame economic planning models to measure national income and its component like income, saving, investment, expenditure, and etc. Further, point number three, let's get into the point number three. Point number three says that economy, yeah, your data is used in business management and industries. So as I already have explained you, the data is used where? The data is also used in your management or into your business, the business you are running. Statistics provides statistical information and techniques as probability distribution, future forecasting to the management to discharge the function of planning, organizing, controlling, and communicating smoothly. So once I gather the data, I use techniques like probability. Yeah, we are going to study probability in further chapters. The probability chapter is available in the stats part. So we are going to study what is probability. But you might you might have already heard about the probability. You might be knowing about the word probability. You might have studied. Probability is what are the chances of happening something. So when I'm running my an organization, I have to know, I have to gather an information like whether or not my product is going to be successful. So how am I going to understand? By using the technique which is probability distribution or future forecasting. To the management to discharge the function of what? Planning, organizing, controlling, and communicating smoothly. For example, statistics helps the business management and industry in various areas such as accounting decisions, financial decisions, location of the plants, quality control, size of the plant, production planning, personal decisions, purchase decisions, marketing decisions, sales decisions. These are what? These are all decisions if you see. These are all decisions, purchase decisions. So in business management or industry, statistics gives you an edge, gives you a potential to increase your decision making. The statistics becomes a very important and a crucial part in your management, as all the decisions are going to be in what? In all the decisions are going to be taken after analyzing the data. Again, let's go ahead and see natural science. So data is also used in where? Natural science. What is natural science? Natural science is nothing but study of human body or human science or the living environment, studying about the science which we have studied in your 10th standard. So in natural science means what? Body temperature, pulse rate, blood pressure, heartbeat, etc. of the patient helps in physician to diagnose the disease. In social science, which means the environment, the environment which we are living in, the social environment, mortality rate, fertility rate, marriage, population, growth. It is used to determine the intelligent quotient, that is IQ of an person in education and physiology. So we have seen this, that the data can be used in many ways and its application is altogether everywhere. It is in the state, in the country, in the economy, in one's business. It is in your natural science, in your body, and it is also used for your social science. So this is what we have seen over here, that the statistics is applied, and where all or where not the statistics is used. There are also many limitations of statistics, so you have to keep in mind there are limitations, demerits and merits. So there are limitations. What are the limitations of statistics? Let's see. Statistics ignores qualitative aspect. Very true, because statistics is all about gathering data, and when we are talking about gathering data, we are talking about quantitative data more than qualitative data, because we are gathering data, and data is which is to be counted. More data will give you more information. More data is what? Quantity. And quality is what? The data is accurate or not, or the quality of the data. So statistics is doing what? Is ignoring what? Qualitative aspect, like efficiency, intelligence, honesty, etc. It deals with group. That means aggregate. What does group means? Group means aggregate. So statistics is dealing with what? It is dealing with aggregate and not with the individual. Statistical laws are not exactly like the law of natural science, physics, chemistry, etc. So you have to keep in mind that statistics is unlike science, physics, and chemistry. It is totally different. Its results are true only on averages. It can be misused. According to Yule and Kendall, with statistical methods are most dangerous tools in hands of an expert. That means if we give, it is a very important thing to be kept in mind. Kings also point out that statistics are like clay, which from out of it we can make a god or a devil. So the point 4 is very simple. Point 4 says that statistics is a very important tool, but this important tool can be very useful for somebody, and in the other hand, if it goes into someone who wants to use the data in other ways, it might also harm. So there's a saying like statistics is what? Statistics is like a clay. We can make a god out of it, or we can make a devil out of it. So the data in wrong hands can cause many problems, while as the data in good hands can give you many benefits. That the science of statistics, therefore, it is most useful servant, but only to the great values of those who understand its proper use. So data can be very useful to those who understand its use. It is very, very, very simple. Let's go ahead and see collection of data. So first of all, let's study about the collection of data. How is data to be collected? What are the ways and means data is collected? And then later on, we are going to see the classification of data, how the data is going to be classified further. So collection of data, the collection of quantitative information. The collection of what? Quantitative. That means which can be counted, which can be measured information about particular characteristics and under the consideration is called as data. So you have to mark this in your book, or you're going to get this all the things in your module as well. Even if you don't have the hard copy of this notes, you can take your the modules that has been provided by the ICMA, the institute, and you can mark these things. The module consists everything that I'm studying from my book. Okay, so let's get further ahead. When we are going to the data is what? The data is something which can be counted. The data is something which can be counted. What is variable? A symbol that represents a quantity in mathematical expression, as used in many science variable research. A logical set of attributes depends an independent variable in the statistics. So variable is something what? Let me tell you, variable is something that keeps on changing. Like the data is not constant throughout. The data keeps on changing. So first of all, we are trying to see, or we are trying to understand the two types, or the two terms. One of which is the data, another one is variable. Data is what? Data is quantitative. And the variable is what? Variable is something that keeps on changing. It is variable. See, again, I would read it. The symbol that represents quantity in mathematical expression, as used in many sciences. Variable research, a logical set of attributes, dependent and independent variable is statistics. So you have to keep both of the things in mind and mark those things. Let's go ahead and see variable is measurable quantity. What is variable? Measurable quantity. Further, we are going to study discrete data and continuous data. So what is discrete data and what is continuous data? Let me give an example. Like when we are talking about your age, for example, your age right now might be 17, 18 or 19, something in between this. Most probably many of you might be of 18 years, 18 or 17. Some of you might be of 19 years, but this is going to be your ages. Your ages might be between these. So what happens is, let us assume that your age is 18. How are you going to grow? You're going to grow 18 years one day, 18 years day 2, 18 years day 3, 18 years 4 months, 18 years 8 months, 18 years 9 months, 18 years 11 months, 18 years 18 years 12 months. 18 years 12 months will be 19 years. So your age is going continuously. It grows by every minute. You're aging every second. You are aging every minute. You are aging every day. You are aging every month. You are aging every year. So your age does not grow with a discrete. Like if you are sleeping today, you are 18, and next day you turn 90. Is it going to be the case? No. Same goes with your weight. You slept with 60 kgs and when you wake up you were 80 kgs. Is this going to happen? No. This is totally wrong and very impractical. So how does your weight increase? Your weight increases 60 kg, 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram, 10 gram, 50 grams, 61 kg, 65 kg, 67 kg. What does that mean? It grows on continuously and over the period of time it is going to grow. So it is what? It is a continuous data which grows eventually. But what about salary? Let's talk about the main thing, salary. Further, all those students who are watching these lectures are going to be a very bright and successful CMAs in their life. When you become a CMA, when you achieve your dream, you will be getting a job. Let's assume that you are appointed in a company with a package of 15 LPA. Okay, you've got a package of what? 15 LPA. What are you expecting from the company? For initial period, when you are a fresher, you got a 15 LPA pack. What if the company says that the salary is going to increase on continuous basis? That means every month your salary, every day your salary will increase by 1 rupees. So every day if your salary is increasing by 1 rupees, in 365 days you will get an increment of only 365 rupees. Right? 365. After 2 years you will get an increment of 730. After 3 years you will get an increment of 1095. After 4 years 1460. After 5 years 1825. Are you working for this kind of job? No. But the salary should increase how? Your first year when your salary is 15 lakh per annum. In second year it should directly jump to 20 lakh per annum. Further it should jump to 22, then 25, then 35. So here the salary is going in what? Is increasing in what way? It is increasing in discrete manner. So the variable, I told you, variable is what? Variable is change. So discrete variable, that the change is discrete, but the change is going to be direct and not continuous. From 15, you might directly jump to 25 or you might jump to 15 lakh per annum. So hopefully, I think the discrete variable and the continuous variable by examples, the concept might have been clear. The discrete variable that can only take on infinite numbers of values is called as discrete variable. All qualitative variables are discrete. Some qualitative variables are discrete, such as performance rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or temperature rounded to the nearest degree. Let's talk about continuous data. A continuous variable is a variable that has a finite number of possible values. Sorry, infinite. I guess I just over here. Okay, it's infinite. Variable that has an infinite number of possible values. In other words, any value is possible for variable. A continuous variable is positive, opposite of discrete variable, which can only take one certain number of value. So the variable which assumes any value from the given interval is called as continuous variable. Example are height, your weight, your sales, your profit. So continuous variable. Let's get up to attribute. What is attribute? Attribute is nothing but your habits. Something which cannot be counted. Your hair color, it is not countable. It is an attribute. Your studying habit is your attribute. Your sleeping habit is your attribute. A gender of a person is an attribute. Skin color is an attribute. So something which cannot be measured, something which is a characteristic, something which is a hobby of anybody is known as attribute. Attribute, a qualitative characteristics is known as attribute. You have to keep in mind. Example is smoking and drinking habit. Both refers to an example of attribute. The nationality of the person. What is your nationality? We all are an Indian. So this is a what? This is attribute. The color of the flower is attribute. The gender of the baby is attribute. So all your habits, smoking, drinking is an habit, which is attribute. Your gender is your attribute. The hair color is your attribute. The color of the flower is the attribute. So you have to keep in mind the qualitative characteristic of any person or any kind of thing is known as attribute. It cannot be counted. It cannot be counted. You have to keep in mind. So let's get into a very important part, that is primary data and secondary data. You have to keep in mind. You have to mark it important. In every attempt, there is a question which is asked for primary data and secondary data. For sure, there is going to be a question for primary data and secondary data. For sure, there is going to be a question for what? For your primary data and your secondary data. When we are talking about the primary data, what is the difference of primary data and secondary data? Let me give an example for that. Think that you are in a school and your social studies teacher, or the social studies teacher has given you an experiment or an assignment. The assignment is to collect information or to collect the count of the population in the society you stay. So what is the experiment? The experiment is to gather information, collect data. What is the population of your society? So what are you going to do? You are going to, if your society is not a big society, for example, your society is of 30, 40 or 50 flats, what are you going to do? As being a younger kid, a small child, what are you going to do? You're going to go after your school, you'll knock the doors of all your neighbors and you'll be asking, like, how many people do you have in the family? How many children? How many people live in your house? So you're going to knock the doors of your neighbors and collect the data. What have you done? You have gone to all your neighbors' door. You have collected the data by yourself, right? The data is collected for the first time by yourself for your activity. You have to keep these 3 points in your mind. You have collected the data for first time for your experiment by yourself, right? And on the other hand, once you grow elder is the wrong word. Once you grow bigger enough, think that Chaitanya sir has given you the same experiment yet again. Go and get me the information, like what is the population of your society. What are you going to do now? Now, being 18 years, 19 years old, you are a bit shy to knock the doors. So what are you going to do? You are going to go to the chairman of your society, to the clubhouse of your society, or to the office of your society, and ask them what is the population of the society. Because when they are running the society, they have all these information. Am I right or wrong? Yes. So approaches both the times were different. First time, when you were younger, you were going and collecting the data by yourself for your experiment. The data was collected for the first time by you. But in the second case, the data has been collected by somebody else, and you are using the data to complete the given assignment by Chaitanya sir. Am I right or wrong? Yes. So the primary data means the data which is being collected for the first time by the person who wants the data. It is known as primary data. Secondary data is something which the data is collected by somebody else. It is already been collected, and we are using the collected data to fulfill our requirement, to fulfill our experiment. So the primary data is what? The data which is originally collected for the first time, the investor himself or his agent to refer the predetermined specific purpose. But secondary data is what? Refers to the data which is originally collected by the person other than who requires it. So it is collected by what? It is collected by somebody else. So the secondary data is collected by somebody else, and we are going to use the data. So there are many examples over here. Sometimes the first time the data is being collected, there is going to be 100%. There are 70 to 90% chances that the primary data and secondary data question is going to be asked. So you just keep in the mind that the primary data is something that is being collected by you for the first time, or by any person for the first time for his own purpose. But the secondary data is being collected by somebody else. The source is secondary, and therefore it is called as secondary data. The examples are just ESO, NSS, RBI centers of India. Its collection is relatively less costly than the collection of primary data. So for collecting primary data, there's going to be a lot of cost. The cost might be financial, or the cost might be time. But for secondary data, it is what? It is very easy, because somebody else has already done the thing. You have to just collect the data from them. So Google is also, if you are asking anything to the Google, so Google is what? Google is a secondary source. The data is being collected by somebody else. It is available on the platform, and we are just using it. So that is what? Secondary data. Distinguish between primary data and secondary data. You have to mark this table. The table is very, very important. There might be MCQ from any of the points from the table. What is the meaning? Primary data is collected of the original data for the first time. Secondary data is basically compliances of exiting data. Next, who collects the data? It is collected by the investigator or his agent. It is collected by the person other than who wants the data. Relatively, its collection is more costlier. It is less costlier. Directly suitable for the purpose of inquiry. Direct suitable may or may not be for the purpose of inquiry. It may be useful for the purpose of inquiry. It can be made to suit the purpose of inquiry. There is possibility for personal prejudice. There is no possibility of personal prejudice. What do you mean by personal prejudice? Prejudice, you might have heard it in law. Prejudice is by your own assumptions. It is what? Your own assumptions. Prejudice. You might make your own assumptions while collecting data from when you are collecting primary data. But when somebody has already collected the data is already available in any of the sources, in any of the platform. You cannot make your own judgments on it. There is no possibility for personal prejudice. That's what here we are trying to say. Choose between primary data and secondary data. It depends upon the following situation. Like, what should we choose? Primary data or secondary data? So the status of the investigator, availability of the financial resources, availability of time, nature, objective and scope of inquiry, degree of accuracy and expected. So these are the points that we keep in mind. These are the points that are supposed to be kept in mind before choosing primary data or secondary data. You have a lot of resources and the investigation or the investigator wants the data to collect by himself, he can opt for primary. But when there is time constraint as well as finance constraint, we should go for secondary source. Let's go ahead. Next, we are going to study about the method of collecting data. So what are the methods? Interview method, mail questionnaire method, observation method, questionnaire filed and sent by an emulator's method. So these are the methods. Interview method. We're going to talk to the person himself, the one we are going to inquire, the person who is supposed to be inquired. We are going to inquire. We are going to set up an inquiry to talk to him to gather a data. It is known as inquiry method. Mail questionnaire method. We are going to talk on the mails. Questions might be asked. The other person is going to answer those questions. Observation method. Many a times, the data is collected by observation. Like, let me give you an example. There are many cameras set up by the government, the officials of police department. If you are overspeeding, if you run over the signal, automatically there's a fine set on your vehicle. Am I right? So what is that? Nobody is talking to you. There is nobody. There's no the police personnel to talk to you or to take an inquiry of you. What is going to happen? The camera is going to detect. It's going to observe that you have break the signal, you have crossed the limit, you have surpassed the speed limit, and he's going to set up a fine for you, right? So that is what observation method. Many a times in many factories also, there is a camera which detects that the raw material is not right and it eliminates that raw material. So that is what observation method means. Questionnaire filed and sent by an enumerator. Enumerator is nothing but a software or a machine which is used. It is just like a mail questionnaire method, but over there we are going to use a mail, and over here we are going to use an enumerators. So these are 4 types where what are methods of collecting what? Collecting your primary data. Interview method, let's talk in detail about all these methods. Interview method, personal interview. You're going to talk to the person directly, and this is going to be a personal interview, indirect interview, and a telephonic interview. So the interview might also be conducted on a video call, on a Zoom call, or it might be on a telephone as well. So interview, there's never important, it is not must that the person should be available in front only. Many a times in today's world, news reporters are also interviewing any person by way of telephone or by way of video call as well. So interview method might be personal interview, might be indirect interview, or might be telephone interview as well. Under this method, investigator directly contacts to the person about whom information is to be collected. Desired information is to be collected. Questions are asked pertaining to the inquiry, and desired information are collected. Merits, high degree of accuracy. When we are talking to the person himself who has the total data, I want to get some knowledge from you by your life. What are you doing? What are you studying? What is not? What not? And what else? I'm going to talk to you. Who else is the better person to give information about yourself? You are only the best person. So when we are talking, we are going to acquire data, we want to get data about that person. The best and the accurate data is going to be given by himself. So the accuracy of the data is what? High degree. Supplementary information may also be collected that may be useful in the interpretation of the result. Possibility of misinterpretation are also avoided. But when I'm talking to the person himself, there might be any interpretations or prejudice that I might make. But when I'm talking to the person himself, all my misinterpretations would be solved. It enables the investigator or his agent to adjust suitability depending upon the informant's reactions. There are limitations. It might be what? It might be costlier. The cost for at going to the person's place or bringing that person to my office might be costlier. Costlier is not always about the money. It might be also for time. The method is costlier when the number of persons are to be interviewed is large and they are spread over the wide area. This method is more time consuming. The probability of personal prejudice or bias of investigator are more. Suitability, the method is suitable for intensive inquiry when you want to get much more information, when you want to get deep into the conversation, deep into the life of the person, the incident of the person, anything, the thing you're basically inquiring for. You can get intensive inquiry, you can get many details, and you can detail it in discuss it in detail. Mail questionnaire method, again it is by way of sending mails. You are asking questions to the person and he is going to reply it in form of mail. The mail questionnaire is a form of questionnaire which is mailed to the targeted individuals, which have to be collection of questions on a particular topic asked to them as a part of interview or survey which is used. I would like to give you an example. Like you might have downloaded any kind of shopping app. Hopefully you have downloaded, and you might have also registered your mobile number on that. What happens is sometimes there's a direct message on your WhatsApp by that brand or the shopping app you have downloaded, and they want to promote something, or they ask you about how was your product if you have ordered something, and they send a automated message. There are many questions like how was the product, was it delivered on time, did you like the way the product was packed, did you like the service, was it timely delivered or not, what other feedbacks you want to give. So what is this? This is questions. The organization is trying to improve itself by asking the questions to all the individuals who are buying the products. So this is what mail questionnaire method is. They are trying to gather data like what is the flaws. Sometimes the packing won't be good. So when I'll ask 100 people, was the packing good? So out of 100, many of the people would try to communicate the right information. And when I get the right information, I would work on the flaws my company is making, work on the things that we are lacking in. So this is the mail questionnaire method. Observation method, as I already have given you many examples. Observation method involves human or mechanical observations for what people actually do or what events take place during the buying or consumption situations. Information is collected by observing process at work. Although it is assumed that the best method for data collection. What is the point over here? This can be asked in your MCQ. Observation method is assumed to be best method, but it is time consuming, costly, laborious, and covers only a small area. So there are merits. It is said to be best. There are merits. What are the demerits? What are the demerits? It is time consuming, costlier, laborious, and covers very small area. Questionnaire file and sent by the enumerators method. Last method. Another method of data collection is sending schedules through the enumerators or interviews. The enumerators contacts the information, gets replies to the questions, contains in a schedule and file them to their own handwriting in the questionnaires form. There is a difference between questionnaire and schedule. Questionnaire refers to a device for securing answers to questions by using a form of which is the respondent files himself. Whereas schedule is a name usually applied to the set of questions which are asked in the face-to-face situation with another person. So as I told you, enumerator is what? Enumerator is a device which is used to send questions and to get the solutions for it or the answers for it. Let's go ahead and see the sources of collecting secondary data. We have not yet jumped ahead, or we have not yet finished the topic of primary data and secondary data. We are yet on the collection of data only. We have seen that what is primary data, secondary data, and then we are seeing like what are the methods of collecting data. Further, we are now going to study what are the sources of secondary data. Like you and I know that what is secondary data. Secondary data was something which was the data is collected by someone else. So what are the sources to get the secondary data? Some of the sources are published source. that the data is collected by somebody else and it is available on the platform, available to any of the people, available to the local people. It is available in the newspapers, it is available in the articles, it is available on any website, it is available in libraries or something like that, which can be accessed by any people and normal people, or which is easily accessible, is supposed to be published sources. Most secondary data are collected from the published source. Some important sources are periodic publication of government organization like Central Statistical Organization, CSO, National Sample Survey Organization, NSSO, statistical abstracts, census reports, other reports published by different ministries of government, international sources like WHO, ILO, IMF, World Bank, etc. So these are what? These are sources which are readily providing you the data, which is easily accessible, is said to be primary sources. That means you can access the data. Access that data is known as primary, your published source. And what is secondary? There are many examples. You can learn 3-4 examples. Reports, publications, trade associations, journal, magazines, periodicals, published reports of central states and government state. Hello. हाँ सर, एक 50 मिनट का हो गया है. एक किया था 20 मिनट का, इतना हगा इंग्लिश में. वो हाँ, और वो गलत हो गया. एक बार गलत बोलने लग गए ना तो उसको सुधारने में और गलती होती. तो हाँ, अभी वो थोड़ा सा एक बार आदत हो गई ना, अभी ये 50 मिनट के इसमें तो कुछ दिक्कत नहीं आई थी. इतने टेक्स लिए, जितना पहली बार रिकॉर्ड कर रहा था, जितने लिए थे ना, उतने आज लगे. कम से कम 3-4. पहले स्टार्ट ही नहीं हो रहा, स्टार्ट होने को 3-4 लग गए. फिर आपने जो बोला था ना उसको सुना, लिख के लिया और फिर वही बोला चालू होने के लिए. ये खत्म हो जाएगा ये. वैसे तो मतलब आधा खत्म हो गया, 2-2.5 घंटे का भी नहीं है चैप्टर, हो जाएगा आराम से. यस सर. हाँ हाँ, कुछ नहीं रहता, फटाफट पॉइंट खत्म होते. और बच्चे भी नहीं सामने रहते ना, तो उनको पूछो इसमें उसमें भी टाइम नहीं जाता होता. संकेत ने नीचे पहले उसके एडमिशन शीट वगैरह अपडेट किए, फिर वो लड़के लोग आए तो नीचे हो गए से ये कर रहा, बेंच लगाया है. हाँ यस यस सर. आपका सर तबीयत ठीक रहेगा तो वैसे, नहीं तो इधर कुछ काम तो नहीं है. हाँ सर. हाँ नहीं, वही ना, कुछ मतलब है भी नहीं वैसे. आप अपडेट लेते रहेंगे इधर का तो भी हो जाएगा. और घर से भी हो सकता है, वो भी तबियत इम्पोर्टेंट है सर. वो तो है. बोल दूंगा बाद में. हाँ यस यस सर. हाँ सर. शिक्षा की चालू हो, नीचे वाले क्लास में बैठी थी तो अपने केबिन वाले. हाँ सर. The other sources are reports submitted to economists, researchers, scholars, bureaus, published workers of research institutions and universities. Apart from that, as I said, as I have given many examples, published sources what? Published sources, the data which is collected and easily available, which we can access, which normal people can access, which is easily accessible in the newspaper, magazines, and many examples that we have already seen over here. 8 examples. So you might learn 3 to 4 examples. You might understand to and read all the examples. You just have to keep in mind that these are all the published sources. What are unpublished sources, sir? Unpublished source is a source which the data is collected, but it is not publicly available. Sometimes your teacher collects some data. It is not publicly available. It is only the data is only with the teacher. Sometimes Government collects some kind of data. Bureaus collect some kind of data, and it is not important to be discussed in the public. So it is said to be unpublished sources. Statistical data can also be collected from various unpublished sources. Some of the important unpublished sources for which secondary data is collected are research work carried out by scholars, teachers, and professions. Records and statistics maintained by the various departments and office of the central, state, government, corporation, and undertaking, etc. The unpublished sources, okay, these are all the unpublished sources examples. Secondary data are already collected information. You already know about that. The secondary data is already collected information. They might have been collected for some specific purpose, so they must be used with caution. This is generally very different to verify such information, find out inconsistency. It is difficult. It is different to verify what? Inconsistency, error, omission. Therefore, scrutiny of secondary data is essential. What do you mean by scrutiny? Now we come up with a new word, new term which is supposed to be discussed. Scrutiny of data. So you have to just keep a thing in mind that the scrutiny of data means that the data is to be verified, the data is to be checked, the homogeneity and consistency of data is supposed to be checked. The data that you have acquired or the data that you are going to use, which is collected by somebody else, the data, the secondary data, you have to verify it. You have to keep a check. You have to check whether the data is right or wrong, whether it is useful for your work or not. So scrutiny means checking or verifying for the data. So that's all. We have in this lecture we have studied many things for data. In next lecture we are going to study about the classification and organization, types of classification, the data, how the modes of presentation of data, the ways and means, the tabular representation. Many things we are going to study in next lecture. So hopefully the lecture might have helped you a lot. As I have already told you in the starting part, that Akash Agarwal classes has started its English batch. The batch is 100% English. All the lectures are going to be conducted in English. All the chapters, the main chapters are going to be covered by Akash Agarwal classes. And to get updated, to get all the links of the lectures, you have to just subscribe to our channel. And there's a WhatsApp group which is given in the description box. You have to join the WhatsApp group so that you can get many updates. You'll also be coming up with many strategies for your exams, for clearing your CMA foundation exams. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join the WhatsApp group. Till then, see you in the next lecture. Hopefully the lecture would have been of your great use. You might have get many benefits from these lectures. So yes, then do share this video with all your friends, to all the friends. Let all your friends know that Akash Agarwal classes has started its English batch as well. Akash Agarwal classes, as many of the students knows, is producing many and very great and colorful results. Like as you can see on the screen, more than 5,000 plus students have cleared the CMA foundation students. Akash Agarwal classes was serving for the North Indian students, the west and the east side. But again, for the South Indian students also, we have started with the new fresh batch. So all your students, all your friends, pardon me please, all your friends should also get the benefit of all these lectures. So let them know that Akash Agarwal classes has started with the batch. Share them the link of the lectures. Till then, see you in the next lecture. Keep studying. Bye-bye.